Lights, camera, action. Do you wonder how films are produced and what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, stand by. Filmmakers Kevin Mumphrey, Victoria V.A. Jones, and Carson Hype Ferguson, local filmmakers talking about the world of film, right here on F It, We Will Fix It in Post podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Whenever time you're watching, I thank you for doing so. This is Kevin Mumphrey, and this is once again, We Will Fix It in Post. I have with me my colleagues, Victoria V.A. Jones.
What's going on?
And Carson Hype Ferguson.
Sure.
Today, we thought we would talk about biopics, especially from musicians. We all like seeing a movie of our favorite musician who may still be alive or has passed on. Just seeing a movie depiction of them, just seeing their lives, seeing where their humble beginnings, how they become the artists they become, or if they have a downfall, seeing depiction of that downfall. So let me start it off with, do you all have any favorite biopics?
Favorite? That's a hard. I got my top ones. You know, Ray was good.
Ray was good. Ray was very good.
The James Brown one was good.
Man.
I just recently saw
Betsy.
Betsy.
Yes, about that's Queen Latifah did that one. The singer back in the day, Betsy.
I don't know if it would necessarily be a biopic, but kind of in that same line, like Cadillac Records. That was a good film, and it tied in a lot of different.
You like
artists.
Cadillac Records?
I always found it interesting, like how they depicted it, because I remember I remember talking to people about that, like stuff like that happening.
Well, it was okay for me. It wasn't the best.
I was like, wow. I don't know. I just like certain things, especially the Chuck Berry parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, huh.
You know, the movie, that movie that just came out, Billie Holiday.
Yes, I love that one.
Is that good?
It's
amazing.
Good. And one of the things that some people said about the movie was that it wasn't really a biopic, which it is and it isn't. It's called Billie Holiday versus the United States. Mm-hmm. So it tells you about what happened within that sense and how it happened and why it happened. It didn't really go into her childhood. It went into it a little bit, but it didn't go into it completely. But it wasn't supposed to.
What was it? Was it found footage or was it like reenactments?
No, it was literally a biopic.
Okay, all right.
Literally. No. But yeah.
But now with making these biopics, there's a lot of, you say legal work, or it's a lot of things that go into it. There's a lot of T's got to be crossed.
It is.
I's got to be dotted.
It's a lot of T's and a lot of I's, and one of the T's and I's is the family, right? So that's a good and a bad thing. You know what I'm saying?
Now let me ask you all this. Now, usually these people they're celebrities. They're public people.
Right.
So in a sense, if you're talking about, they're public, so you can make a movie about them. But how important is it to have the family?
Probably for access to certain pieces that you
right.
It
is important, but at the same time, it's kind of like, which family do you need to be a part of it? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, is this family going to tell the truth, or are they going to tell what they want to tell you?
Like,
or
they eating bologna sandwiches and fur coats. Be like, nah, we know you wasn't doing that.
And that's one of the things that's really hard, because yes, the family needs to be a part of it, but at the same time, what are they going to tell you? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Especially after that person is gone. Do they want you to know about this, about them? You know what I'm saying? Because let's just say you were famous, right, Kevin?
I like where this is going.
Okay. All right. Cool. So you became an icon, right?
Okay.
All right. So it's you have sisters, right?
Yes, 2 sisters.
At a certain point which it probably would never happen, but at a certain point in your life, you would be like, maybe I need to take this certain sister off of my estate because they're not doing right, they're not acting right.
Latoya Jackson.
I didn't throw no names out there. But once you died and there was a biopic put out about you, this sister over here has access to your estate. So she has access to give permission of what you can and can't do for whoever's doing the biopic. But the sister over here is not a part of your estate, right?
Yeah, all right.
And she puts out a video, right, saying that she feels bamboozled. She doesn't think it's fair because of the fact that, you know, they didn't ask her opinion. But they got the permission of the estate, and they got the permission of these people over here. So how much entitlement does that sister have?
None.
Zero. But you know how it comes out in the story, because the average person doesn't know what when they think of an estate, they think of a group of lawyers. They usually think that when the average person's like, oh, this person's estate, oh, it's a bunch of lawyers making that decision. They don't realize.
You have an executor. So, like, who would be the executor in that case? Like, especially in that example, it would probably be a family member, right? So that person would have legal counsel, but would still ultimately be the deciding factor.
And most people don't know that. So when the story comes out, given the situation you just gave, the story is going to come out as members of Kevin Mumphrey's family is protesting against this film. So people go, oh, his family ain't rocking with the film?
Even if it's 2 against 15 family members.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how it gets spun.
A family member is a family member. Mm-hmm. So I'm not technically wrong when I write that story. But
yeah.
And people also don't take in the fact is, what family members was that person closest to? Because I'm pretty sure you know people that are probably closer to their cousins than they are their brothers and sisters.
The case in point. If I was famous, I would have my cousins more involved than I would my siblings. Yeah, I love my siblings, but growing up, it was more of my cousins than it was me with them. So they know me a little bit better than my siblings.
They can give you a clearer depiction of who you are.
Yes.
Or you would be more confident in.
I would be more confident in them telling my story.
I was like, yeah, all I would say is don't have any ex-girlfriends telling my story.
Oh, no. I don't think anybody
would want an ex telling their story. Unless y'all are still friends and y'all are cool with each other.
Even then, I'd be nervous.
Really?
Yeah, because it'd be like, yeah, there was this one time.
But, I mean,
I'm going to leave that out there.
Like, I mean, like if Ray Charles' ex-girlfriends or like a Frank Sinatra ex-girlfriends was being interviewed for, you're going to kind of expect it to go a certain way.
He did it his way.
Exactly. Exactly. They're going to be like, oh, well, I mean, she may still have love for him or all that, but you an ex for a reason. Like, Frankie was out here. Ray was out here. He felt the arm and he was like, nah, I ain't feeling you no more. Y'all get up out of here. So I just love the fact that he did that.
Man.
Like, hold on, let me check that wrist. Nah, this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it. Y'all get up out of here.
He didn't like chubby women. That's
Kevin, what you say?
That's all that was. He liked slim, thin women.
Man, he was blind too. Man.
It shows, hey, the sight don't work, but everything else does.
Man, he's like, yeah, this is what it is right here.
But so as far as back to talking legal stuff like that, so also we on musicians having the music, like their music.
It's very important. That's just like the monstrosity of a film that they put out about Aaliyah. They didn't have any original music in there.
So okay, so let's say, because even if the girl's lip singing to original Aaliyah music, we know it's not Aaliyah. Let's say the girl could sing really good.
Yeah, but
still wouldn't hit.
No,
I mean, because like it like there's something that those songs do to you, the authenticity of the songs. I mean, could you tell a Ray story without his music?
Definitely not.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the exact same thing. I mean, because that's as much as them as anything else.
Right.
The music. I'm like, rock. Oh, stop.
I was like,
Disclaimer.
might as well go ahead and do it. Dude.
No, I ain't doing it. I got a song in my heart, but I'm not trying to hurt nobody's ears.
I like the way that's said. So even no matter how great the singer is, or
No, because it doesn't matter if they sound almost exactly like them. They're not gonna sound like them.
No.
They're gonna sound like that person. They're not gonna sound like Ray. They're not gonna sound like anybody. So and people are gonna notice, and it's gonna do something different to the film.
You know it's gonna remind me of. It's gonna remind me of when all those comparisons got made to Ja Rule trying to be Tupac, and everybody's like, "Look at this discount Tupac."
okay, so since we got into the Tupac, so you know one of the selling points for the actor that played Tupac in his biopic was that he looked so much like Tupac. But also, I don't know if you all seen it. It also kind of shows you how much he wasn't Tupac.
And that's what didn't work.
So it almost feels like, oh, this is like stale Coke. Like, so, like.
It's crystal clear Pepsi.
Yeah. So it's like, so how he would do, because I don't want to say he was bad. It's like when he talked, he kind of sounded like Tupac a little bit. But when Tupac is just, when he energetic and charismatic, he can't pull that off.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not Tupac.
Yeah, but who could though? Like, I mean, who could?
But then that's the but because there'll be certain scenes, and this is where it really, I almost hate that they did this. So they got Tupac in the movie. He's at the movies watching himself in the movie. Now this is, and y'all can kind of discuss would you would have done this or not. So you may take the scene from the movie that Tupac played, the scene in Juice.
Yeah.
So he's watching that. So in this film, they didn't use the film Juice. They used a reenactment. They've got him doing the same scene, and it didn't hit right.
I was like, see, that's a thing. That depends on acting quality. If he's up to par, like as far as his acting capabilities and all that stuff, and with certain energy that's like kind of mimics it, then you wouldn't have to do a recreation. They probably did a recreation because it's that much separation in the story.
No, I don't think they did it because of that. I did. Well, this just like the Aretha Franklin was not a biopic, but a Genius put out a Aretha Franklin kind of miniseries. They showed Aretha Franklin, like they used clips of her in there. They didn't do no reenactment. They showed certain real clips of her and stuff like that. And I think it worked. Like, it's a really good series.
Now, do you think it's best to use clips of them? Because when you do that, it almost like, okay, yeah, this is definitely not that person. So it could
Yes and no. Because it can work and it can't work. Because it's going to put more pressure on the person who's playing that role. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And, it just depends, in my opinion.
Yep.
It depends.
Adult diaper.
I don't know what that.
What? It's a yeah.
So
It's a form.
also, and they did this with Billie Holiday. Biopics are good for taking certain. You can do an entire life story, which will be you're going to leave some stuff out,
Right?
because
You had
the
to.
whole life.
You had to.
Or you take a certain pivotal point in their life,
Yeah.
or a situation that happened in their life. Do you think it's better to do like a biopic like that, or just to do it like a entire life?
Well, I say it still all depends, because most biopics that you watch, especially of musicians, they put in a biopic of traumas and what's the reason why the person acts like the way that they act, or what's the reason why the emotion that they have and whatever craft they're in it brings them out. This song came from this experience right here, and this is why this song is such a classic and it works so well with them. You know what I'm saying? But,
What do you think, Carson?
Yeah.
Oh, you agree with me?
Yeah, look, man, I agree with you a lot.
Say what?
Come on, come on.
So I tend to like Billie Holiday to focus on a certain point in their life, because again, you do their entire life, you're gonna miss something. And then when you always hear after the movie's made, one of their friends is doing an interview. I can't believe you didn't bring this person in there. I didn't believe you didn't talk about this that happened at this point in time. Or, oh God, you forgot. Like, actually, even with Tupac, I think there were people who complained that they didn't bring up his ex-wife.
Yeah.
They didn't bring that person in there.
Like, why would you need to though? I mean, because like I know it's part of like him as a person, but like, why would you need to as far as like the story of his life?
If it impacted his life, you know what I'm saying?
And I mean, like,
marriage would in any case, like it's going to shape who you are, especially a divorce.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, for that story that they were telling, did it impact that story? I don't think it would have.
Or because I mean, most people don't even remember that he was married. So it's
because it was like kind of out of the spotlight,
and it was something he didn't talk about. Like he was very Because I almost feel like if Tupac was alive, he probably wouldn't have wanted that in there.
Yeah, probably not,
because he was very respectful of her.
I mean, there's certain parts of yourself where you want to keep private anyway.
Yeah.
And you don't want all your business out there. Then you'd be like, old boy out here.
DJ.
I knew y'all gonna bring that up.
I wasn't even trying to bring him up, but I'm just.
I said old boy. I could have been talking about any old boy.
And we all know who old boy is. He's the biggest old boy in America right now.
I was like, man, like, oh man.
Oh my goodness.
So, since you're all directors, if you were doing a biopic of a person's life, like what kind of almost aspects of their life that you would want in that biopic?
I would first look at their history, like look back at what was in the news, what was portrayed in the news, and what was the real story and what was behind it. At the same time, I would look back at interviews and I would listen to what they talked about at their, childhood and stuff like that. And, I would, go to certain family members that, who are a part of their lives. A lot of people don't know, but a lot of family members aren't a part of certain people's lives. But they want to put their 2 cents in when they make it. You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes the reason why they're not in their life is probably good for the movie. Like they could have did something so like if a person's mother isn't in their life at all.
Yeah,
it's going to be interested in why isn't the case.
I can see that. I can see mother, but say like brother, sister, certain cousins. I mean, inconsequential sometimes.
But I'm talking about the people who pop up when you're famous and be like, "Oh, remember back in fifth grade?
Fifth cousin.
Remember back in 5th grade, or when we were 5 and we used to run around in back of grandma's house."
I ran around.
Yeah, we were 5.
I ran around with everybody at grandma's house. Stop it. Stop.
We were 5, and I only saw you once or twice, and that was it.
Or my one cousin I saw one time in my life came through and stole my He-Man action figure. I swear to God.
So I'm looking at a list on IMDb. They have a list of 50 greatest biopics of all time. I'm going to guess this is somewhat suggestive. So I'm looking at kind of like movie time frames.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a guess on the time of an average biopic?
2 hours.
Bingo. 2 hours. There's some 2 hours, 50 minutes, 2 hours, 30 minutes. Like the lowest one I've seen is like an hour 54. But would you like to hear some of these greatest 20 biopics?
We're in the top 5.
When you hear the top 5, see, y'all even heard of these. Oh, well, Schindler's List is considered number 5. And that's 3 hours, 15 minutes.
I never thought about it as a biopic.
I never did neither.
But I mean, it's close, I guess.
Yeah.
Number 4, one of my favorites, Malcolm X. 3 hours, 22 minutes.
Was it long? Cause it was 2 parts, wasn't it?
2 part? No.
I swear, like it was broken up in 2 parts, at least in the movie theaters. And when they released it, I think they released it as like a double DVD or
I don't know. They
like
may have did that as a DVD because
I never watched the whole thing straight through.
Because like in the movie, in the theater they played it straight through. Because I know it was Spike Lee did talk about like because it was obviously longer than 3 hours and 22, and he had to fight for the 3 hours. So I remember like I forgot how long he said it was.
Spike Lee was it was a good movie. You know what?
And it didn't even feel like 3 hours.
I think I listened. I think whenever it did get cut down, or when it went to the director's cut, I think it was actually longer.
No, it was definitely. I think it was way past 4 hours.
Yeah, and that's probably why I never watched it straight through. So I watched it in 2 parts.
Yeah, I've never heard of this one, but this is like 1962, Lawrence of Arabia.
That was a biopic.
You know about this?
Yeah, like a female editor, like very 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 advanced for his times. Like one of the greater scenes or whatever was an accident.
And this was 3 hours and 48 minutes. Ooh, I didn't think they'll make a movie that long. Number 2, Gandhi.
Next,
I've seen some. Well,
sorry, my bad.
About Gandhi?
My bad. Oh, Gandhi. I thought you said Gundy. I was like, I don't
No,
know.
I probably
I don't know who that is.
I didn't enunciate that very right.
I've never seen that, whatever, but I've read many books on the man, and I thought he led an interesting life.
Oh, what's the biopic with Viola Davis? She just won.
Oh God, what is that one? Because I'm seeing number 1. It says I'm gonna just have to spell this. Amadeus.
Amadeus.
Turn it around.
Okay, that may be what it is.
Like the
Yeah, Amadeus.
That could make a good rap name. 2 hours 40 minutes.
That was also one of the names in Planet of the Apes, wasn't it?
I've literally never seen that.
You've never seen Planet of the Apes?
Even the remake?
No.
With Mark Wahlberg?
Original one? Nothing.
Neither.
Not even the 2 movies whatever they did with James Franco, or one with James Franco, the most recent ones. They had 2 most recent ones, and they had one like in the 2000s with Mark Wahlberg.
I only watched the Mark Wahlberg ones in the original one.
So the prequel was like good. It basically it showed like, you know, what happened to lead up to the planet being overtaken by the apes.
I've literally never watched it. Like I just never wanted to see a movie about a bunch of monkeys.
Man, how you going to man? Caesar was the man though.
I'm taking y'all word for it.
Spoiler alert, he didn't make it.
I feel like if they don't know this by now.
Now you gotta say it. You gotta say it.
But you've never watched them, so you never know who's listening, who's never watched them.
It's a good movie.
You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
good movie though.
If we ain't watched it now, we're not going to.
You might.
I ain't gonna say that. It might be on TBS.
You might. You know.
I know I'm changing the channel. See a movie with a bunch of monkeys in it. I'm changing the channel.
Like, what's this?
Oh my goodness!
You ever like drive
what
until
is
like
this?
you ever been driving? You're like, ooh, how did I get here? That's what a movie filled with monkeys feels like to me. Like, yeah, I've been. You know what? I just need to go.
But if
cut
you
off the TV.
coming from a person who enjoys the movies and how they're made, if you go back and you look at the original movie, you will be amazed by the special effects of the how they put together the monkey suits and the everything and the. It's amazing. It's amazing.
All I'm thinking is they put a whole lot of time and money in monkeys.
It was a very, very good movie though. I mean, because the story was compelling. It was a compelling story.
I'm going straight to Fast and Furious.
We talking about compelling stories and storytelling, you know.
But let's get back to these biopics
compelled to
with
see these cars go to
musicians
Mars.
and families and stuff like that. So, at the same time, you know, going back to the families, and the biopics and everything else, you know, it depends on what works. You know, if I watched the biopic and it sucked, you know what I'm saying?
Are you blaming the family?
I'm not. I'm blaming the person who put it out.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, did they talk to the family?
That's the first question you're gonna have.
That's the first question I'm gonna have.
I was like, I wonder how much involvement the family had.
But that's something like you would only think that when the movie's bad.
Can you imagine?
Well, let's say the movie's great, fantastic, and then the family's like, we didn't have nothing to do with this.
Can you imagine if you had that same kind of mentality when it came to like somebody making like your food? be like, man, I got a bad sandwich from this place. It'd be like, man, I wonder what kind of upbringing this person had.
What?
That's horrible, but I'm going to be using that because that is my petty side. Just loved how that sounded. Like, just imagine. Like, let me talk to the chef.
Who's your father?
Did your mama teach you to cook like this?
Oh man,
Like, I don't understand why.
how much pepper you use in your house?
You
None?
ain't got no wife or no kids, do you? I can tell by you putting paprika in this.
None.
I can taste the paprika here.
What's up with all this garnish?
It's garnish.
Yeah, man, putting leaves on the side. I'm like, look, I came.
It makes it look it make it look fancy.
It looks like you about to pay some money.
This is a $6 meal, sir. Keep that.
You're doing too much.
Keep
You're
that.
doing too much. But okay. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So again, if it does well and the family has no say so, does it matter then?
Yes, it still does. Because, you know, going back, you know, how much more could they have put in it if the family was involved?
Authenticity.
You know what I'm saying? It's good, but it could have been better if the family was involved. But like I said before, it depends on what family, you know.
Also, too, like you're saying that I was thinking about, and it's not a biopic, but it'd be a documentary.
Yeah.
I was talking to a lady that runs a nonprofit organization or whatever in Georgia, and the nonprofit is over like a museum for a specific camp, and they have some documentaries made. And there's a particular like museum, and one of the dudes was a American with disabilities, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Families like pretty much died out. There's like some youngins like basically in charge of the estate now. It doesn't really care as long as they get some money here and there, but like it makes it like almost impossible to do anything with that story. But I'm like, it's a great story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this dude had a great story, but his great grandkids don't care.
They just want the money.
I'm like, man, I approach him and try to buy it off from under him. Honestly, that's what I would say.
Yeah, like as a director or producer, when you kind of want that situation a little bit, just so you have complete autistic freedom.
No, you would want it better, but I mean, but if you wanted to tell that story, that child has no involvement, and most of the other family members either don't know or don't care. But the ones that's in charge, like actually making this, they could make it happen, is so like disinterested with anything about like their relative, and I'm like, man, that's sad. That'd be a great
You could
story.
also make it in the sense of, that person. They're a public person, and that's like a Ray Charles. He's been famous since, a kid maybe. Or was it?
I think the family owns some of the records or whatever, so it like not everything being historical records. So like I guess they knew that, so and it's a way to kind of protecting it as well. So like I think it'd be hard to make it without the permission of this state.
Oh, okay. So maybe he's a bad example, but like,
But he was alive when they did that.
yeah, he died before it came out.
Yeah, he died before. He was very a part of it.
But so I'll use and this was probably because it had a state, probably a lot harder. Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
He's been famous since he was a kid. So essentially, 80-90% of his life, It's been out in the pub. It's public. It's practically public information.
Yeah.
Way more than that. Way more than 90.
So, I was just throwing a number out. So, with someone being that public, do you still really need the family involvement?
Yeah, because even though he was public, it was a lot of stuff that he liked to do that was private. And I'm not talking about that.
I'm gonna say because that's.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in his daily life, as far as his activities, how he unwind, him playing a sport or something like that.
Even how he's characterized in some ways. Like when I heard some stories about like Quincy Jones, like in his biopic,
Yeah,
which is great. Quincy talked about how Michael Jackson actually talked. It wasn't, the image that a lot of people had about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So,
and I can't believe there's like no video, like nothing.
Nah, man, like ain't nobody released no video. Like they wouldn't deal with you back in the day. Like now, everybody dry snitching.
Yeah,
can't wait to tell somebody else's business.
I would love to find out there's like a video of Michael and he just
giving it to him,
and he sounds like me, like, hey, bro, you heard that new 50 Cent?
Because there's a video of when that R. Kelly song came out, Ignition, and Michael Jackson liked the beat. So there was a video of Michael Jackson in his car listening to it and vibing to the beat. We would have never known if that video didn't come out and we saw like that interaction that he had with a beat and how he loved the beat so much.
So I want to end it off and I want to ask y'all this. So there's somebody alive or dead you could think of that you'd want to see a biopic of.
Oh, Missy Elliott, of course. Missy Misdemeanor.
So it'd probably be a few. And I'm saying one right now that I can think of to be like kind of sensationalized, be like Flavor Flav.
I can see that.
Because you'd be like, man, because he has so many different like layers and elements to his life, and good and bad. You'd be like, man, this dude was out in the front, but that stuff, I guess it was a different time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily it didn't follow you, it didn't pop up first thing. It was like Google. But yeah, Flavor Flav would be one that just it wouldn't pop out; it would explode out.
Oh God, that one! Oh God, what's the guy from Wu-Tang Clan?
RZA?
No, Old Dirty Bastard.
That would be a good one too.
Because that man was all over the place. Like I'm thinking of three. ODB. I don't think Britney Spears has one.
Nah, that would be a good one too.
I think that would be a really good one. And Chris Brown.
I don't know about Chris Brown. Like to me,
because I get this. It's like because he's been through a movie's worth of stuff.
No, I know.
And he's just in his 30s. Like I almost forgot that he's still kind of young.
Yeah.
Now he may need to do a look because ideally I'm thinking this is the part of his life where he's a lot more calmer.
Yeah.
But he's still young enough to make some new worthy crazy stuff that you want to put in the movie. So that's why I say Chris Brown. I would want to see it now.
I would like to see a Boyz II Men one. That would be a good one.
Yeah, that would be good.
Boyz II Men. I mean, it ain't gonna be like the Temptations or nothing.
Oh, okay.
No, you don't know about that.
Okay,
you don't know about that, man, because they were.
Because there's only
90s.
3 of them now. One left the group.
Yeah, because he had back problems.
Okay.
See, I ain't trying to see about them dudes' back problems in the movie.
I say okay because that's what's told.
That's the end of it though. That's toward the end of the road, if you will.
And there's the name of it.
Oh my goodness.
That's I would name it that too. But thank you all for listening. This is We Will Fix It in Post, and that is a wrap.
Sure.